Hey kids, we are on day 2 of our umbrella in reading that is talking about book talks. Yesterday, you were able to create a good beginning and a good ending to a book talk. We did that by creating maybe a question at the beginning and a hook at the ending. Yesterday, we did beginning and ending. Today, we're going to talk about that meat in the middle, okay? So, your why is when you learn techniques for preparing a book talk, such as writing on sticky notes, you will have to think about what is interesting about the book you have chosen. Preparation techniques will be useful in any presentation. So you're going to actually use these techniques as you grow and throughout your whole life. Okay. Today we're going to read this book and write down some important information as we read. Okay. So we're going to only listen to them read page 1 through 9.
The Absent Author.
A is for absent. Come on, Dink dragged his friends down the street. Ooh. Go back. They looked through the window, out of breath. The bookstore was crowded with kids. The Book Nook's owner, Mr. Paskey, had set up folding chairs. Dink noticed that most of them were already taken. Dink saw Mr. Paskey sitting behind a table. A big white sign on the table said, "Welcome, Wallace. But the chair behind the sign was empty. Dink gulped and stared at the empty seat. Where was Wallace? So here, I wish I could write on this. I would do my first sticky note. I should be able to write on this. Come on, buddy, let me write. Okay, it's not letting me. But here I would write the absent author, Ron Roy. Dink and his friends try to solve a mystery. Chapter 1. And we're only going to read to page 9, okay? So this is page 1. Please, Josh, Dink said. If you come with me today, I'll owe you one. Just name it. Anything. Dink's full name was David Donald Duncan, but no one in Green Lawn ever called him that, except his mother, when she meant business. Josh Pinto grinned at his best friend. Anything? He raised his mischievous green eyes towards the ceiling of Dink's bedroom. Let's see. What do you have that I want? He scratched his head. I know. I'll take Loretta. Dink tossed a pillow at Josh. When I said anything, I meant anything but my guinea pig. Are you coming with me or not? I have to be at the Book Nook in 15 minutes. Dink rushed into the bathroom, tucking his shirt into his jeans. At the same time, Josh followed him. Standing in front of the mirror, Dink yanked a brush through the thick blonde hair. Well, he asked, are you coming with me? What's so important about this writer guy? Josh asked, sitting on the edge of the bathtub. Dink turned around and pointed his hairbrush. Wallace isn't just some writer guy, Josh. He's the most famous mystery writer in the world. All the kids read his books, except for you. If he's so famous, why is he coming to Dinky Little Green Lawn? Dink charged back into his bedroom. I told you, he's coming because I invited him. I'm scared to death to meet someone so famous. I don't even know what you're supposed to say to an author. Dink dived under his bed and backed out again with his sneakers. Please come with me. Josh leaned into the bedroom doorway. Sure, I'll come, you dope. I'm just trying to make you sweat. Usually you're so calm. Dink stared at his friend. You will? Thanks, I can't believe Wallace is really coming. When I woke up, I asked, him. I never thought he'd say yes. Dink yanked his backpack out of his closet. Pack my books, okay? I'm getting to Wallace Wallace to sign them all. Josh began pulling Wallace Wallace books off Dink's bookshelf. Geez, how many do you have? Every one he's written, Dink said on the floor to tie his sneakers. 23 so far. You should read some of them, Josh. Josh picked out The Poison Pod and read the back cover. Hey, cool. It says here that Wallace Wallace lives in a castle in Maine. Wouldn't that be neat? Dink grinned. When I'm famous writer, you can live in my castle, Josh. No way. When I'm a famous artist, you can live in my castle. Down in the basement. Josh picked up the riddle in the river. What's this guy look like? He asked. And how come this picture isn't any of these books? I wondered about that too, Dink said. I sent him one of my school pictures and asked for one of him. But when I got his letter, there was no pictures. He finished tying his laces. Maybe Wallace Wallace just doesn't like having his picture taken. Josh squeezed all 23 books into Dink's pack. He grinned at Dink. Or maybe he's just too ugly. Dink laughed. Gee, Josh, you're ugly and you love having your picture taken. Ha ha. Josh picked up his drawing pad. But just because you're my best friend, I'll draw this picture at the bookstore. Dink looked at his watch. Yikes, he said. We have to pick up Ruth Rose in 1 minute. He tore into the bathroom and started brushing his teeth. How'd you get her to come? Josh called. Dink rushed back into the room, wiping toothpaste from his mouth. You kidding? Ruth Rose loves Wallace Wallace books. Dink slung his backpack over his shoulder. He and Josh hurried next to door 24 Woody Street. Tiger Ruth and Rose's orange cat was sitting in the sun on the steps. Dink pressed the doorbell. Ruth Rose showed up at the door. As usual, she was dressed all in one color. Today it was purple. She wore purple overalls over a purple shirt and had one purple running shoes. A purple baseball cap kept her black curls out of her face. Hey, she said. Then she turned around and screamed into the house. The guys are here, Mom. I'm leaving. Dink and Josh covered their ears. Geez, Ruth Rose, Josh said. I don't know what's louder, your outfit or your voice. Ruth Rose smiled sweetly at Josh. I can't wait until Wallace Wallace signs my book, she said. She held up a copy of The Phantom in the Pharmacy. I wonder if Wallace Wallace will read from the new book he's working on, Dink said. What's the title? Ruth Rose asked. They headed toward the book nook. I don't know, said Dink, but he wrote in his letter that he's doing some of his research while he's here in Connecticut. Dink pulled the letter out of his pocket. He read it out loud while he walked. Dear Mr. Duncan, thank you for your kind letter. I'm so impressed that you've read all my books. I have good news. I've made arrangements to come to the book nook to sign books. I can use part of my time for the research. Thanks for your picture. I'm so happy to finally meet one of the most loyal fans. Short of being kidnapped, nothing would stop me from coming. See you soon, Wally Wallace. The letter was signed Wally Wallace in loopy letters. Dink grinned. Pretty neat, huh? Pretty neat, Mr. Duncan, teased Josh. Okay, we're going to pause there. And I'd like you to think about what kind of things would you write on a sticky note to help you prepare for a book talk about this book in particular? Okay, so think about that for a minute. Usually I'd have you turn and talk with a partner, but we can't do that right now. So far, we have the absent author. Dink and friends try to solve a mystery. We learned that from the first page. Now, what could you write based off what we've learned so far to help you do a good book talk for later? Personally, I'd like to pause you guys at this letter. So everything so far is incredibly important, yes, because it makes the story. But if we pause and highlight just this letter, it shows of a lot of importance because it kind of summed up everything we've learned so far. So I had page 9. This is the sticky note I'd write. Letter from Wallace Wallace, the author who disappears. It's important to write that because it's going to kind of lead up our whole story. Okay? So, today, you're going to choose the book from yesterday that you said a book talk about. You practice using a good lead and end. Now, I'd like you to go back into that book and write notes on important information you'd like to make sure you include in your book talk that you may have or may not have included already. 1 second, I'm videoing. Then you're going to take a picture or type out the notes you make in Seesaw. Okay? So we read 9 pages of a book. And then there's 2 sticky notes that I would have put on there. You're going to think about the book that you did a book talk about yesterday. You came up with a strong lead and a strong ending, and now you're going to work on that meat on the inside. You're going to go in that book and put sticky notes, and then you're going to take a picture of those sticky notes and upload it or type them out. Okay? So today, your goal is to compose notes to remember important information about a book. Sound good? Alrighty. Good luck, friends.